You ever get the feeling that something is precariously balanced and it's just tipping back and forth and it's in danger of just collapsing and breaking? That's how I feel right now about the possible future of the entertainment industry. By the way, this is take 3 for this video. This is an unscripted video, but it keeps going to fear and anger. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. And hate does, in fact, lead to suffering. I think that's pretty accurate, Master Yoda. I am concerned about the future of the entertainment industry. I think that it's all changing so rapidly. I think that the next 5 to 10 years are going to look drastically, unrecognizably different from the 100 years that came before. And I'm concerned. I'm going to tell you what was the catalyst, what was the straw that broke the camel's back and convinced me to turn on the camera and just share this with you guys. Maybe I won't even share it. Maybe this is just to get it out. Maybe this is just for me. I'll probably share it with you. I wake up and there's news from Disney, because there's always news from Disney. Disney's in the headlines like every single day, and they love it. They love it. They have decided to drop to remove a few dozen shows, pieces of entertainment, because I don't even know if they're all shows. Some of them might be movies, or remove content from Disney Plus. And it's not on Apple. It's not on iTunes. It's not in other places. It's only been on Disney Plus. So what happens to that? It looks like it just goes away. Maybe they license it to Netflix or Tubi. I don't know. Maybe it goes somewhere, hopefully. But what's concerning to me about this, Willow is one of the shows they're removing, which I've never watched it. I loved the Willow movie. I don't need a series. Well, here's what happened 25 years later. I don't need that. And I talked about that in my video, my other ranty video about reboots, remakes, recycles, super surf of mediocrity is, I think, the subtitle of that video. I've probably linked to it up here. It's concerning. Here's why they're doing it. Because Disney can write that off as a tax write-off by reducing the value of what's on Disney Plus. And this is important, guys. By reducing the value of what's on Disney Plus, by saying, oh, we have $11.7 billion of stuff on Disney Plus. By trashing some of it, they can bring it down to like, oh, now it's $977 billion worth of stuff. They pay less taxes when it comes tax time. That's what it's about. These shows are more financially viable to them. I think he said they're looking to cut like $3 billion from their budget by doing things like this. So the bigger concern, this is not a physical versus streaming debate. This isn't about like, well, if you own it forever and they can't take it. It's not what this is about. This is about the bigger picture of how these companies that make our entertainment view our entertainment. And they view it as disposable content that can go away like that. Like the snap of a Thanos finger. They can just wipe it out. And now let's talk about the elephant in the room is that nothing ever really goes away in a world where piracy exists. That's true. Like, these shows do not just disappear off the face of the earth. But the methods that most people should use to consume them are now going to be removed. And that's concerning. Warner Brothers did this last year, 2022, with their Batgirl movie that had a Michael Keaton cameo. Hey, guys, Michael Keaton. Let's get nuts. They removed that. They didn't remove it. They never put it up. They decided it had more value as a tax write-off than to let people see it. It's concerning. Because these movies and shows are created by artists, whether we like them or not, whether they're good or bad, whether I want to watch Willow or Batgirl or not. They're written by writers. They are directed by talented people. A boom mic operator holds the microphone in front of people's heads. There's editors. There's special effects people, visual effects people. There's catering services, right? This is the infrastructure. This is the system by which entertainment is made. And by just wiping it all of the people's work that made these things is rendered nothing. It's rendered nothing into nothing. And I'm concerned, man. I'm concerned about what the next 10 years are going to look like. Because let's talk about AI, right? Because we got writers on strike right now. Because they're saying that they don't think they're being adequately compensated for their work. Most of it, I think, has to do around streaming. Because they think, they're saying, well, these companies are making so much money on streaming. I don't know. I'm not a bean counter. I know that these companies are declaring huge losses. Like, they lose money every single year, these streaming services. Disney says they've got a 1.8 billion, I believe is the number, bill that's due for Disney Plus, as in money they have to pay. So I don't know. I don't know what the profitability of this stuff is. And I don't know if the writers are or are not being financially compensated. I would say that when you've got one pie and the pieces continue to get smaller and smaller because it's being fractured into so many different streaming services, it just makes sense to me that there's going to be less views, less money, less opportunity. I mean, maybe more opportunity because they have more places to go work, but less return for that opportunity. That's just a simplified view of it. But, you know, what's the next? What happens after this writer's strike? And now we've got AI that can give people what they want to see already. And AI is not going to be able to write like a David Mamet screenplay or something. But people don't want that, I don't think. They just want spectacle. They just want to see things explode. You know, we've got... It's that thing that Martin Scorsese said that got him in so much trouble, where people want to go to the theater to see a roller coaster ride. I think he's right. And now look, it's complicated too, because he's got this, you know, this movie that's coming to, is it Apple Plus, right? Or Apple TV. That's like 208 minutes long. And I don't know, like $400 million or something like that. It's a massive, it's bigger than like 10 smaller films. 20 people could have made movies for what he's making this thing on, probably. It's complicated. But he is right in the sense that people want to go to the theaters to support big spectacle. Fast and the Furious, right? Indiana Jones, the latest Marvel superhero thing. That's what people want to go to the theater to see. And that's what they go see. Do we need a writer to write that? Or can a computer program, can AI write that now? I think we're getting to the point that AI can write that. And that takes out the human equation. And then that takes out the thing that I've been connecting with for all this time. Because I want to see more things like the stuff that I knew, that I came to love in the 90s. All the actors that I loved in the 90s are not on the big screen anymore. They're on streaming services now. You know, I was watching... I'm going to share this with you guys. Here's the thing. I am at heart a cynic. And that doesn't really come through in the channel because CerealAtMidnite is the thing that keeps me in the light. Because I focus so much on movie history and our cinematic past, I have so much joy for it and love for it and appreciation. And so the tone of the channel becomes optimistic and celebratory. And guys, we have so much to be thankful for. Because we do. But that's the past. The future, cynical. I'm very cynical about the future. I'm very concerned. We're watching America's Funniest Videos with my daughter because she loves it. I love to hear her laugh when she watches the show. And the commercial break came on. And they're advertising like The Bachelor season 95 or whatever, an American Idol or whatever. And there's a new reality series about game shows. And there's a new prank series with Johnny Knoxville. And I was just yelling at the TV like Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino. And I was like, why don't you spend some of the money, once you combine the money you spend on these reality shows, and write us a new scripted drama? And my wife goes, well, people don't watch television for scripted drama now. They stream those shows. Those shows go to streaming. And she's right. People are watching television as it goes out, you know, broadcast over the airwaves for The Bachelor, for your water cooler conversations, for the things that, like, did you see who got voted off the island last night? Oh, boy. That's what they want to see. And then if you want to watch a smart show that engrosses you and has human character and drama, you're probably going to watch it on a streaming service because that's where it all went. And all the actors that I love from the 90s, now they're on the streaming shows, and so that's where I have to go if I want to see that. Well, what happens if those shows are just viewed as content? If they're viewed as disposable by one of the three companies that runs everything? Because that's a huge part of what concerns me, is that Disney and, you know, all these companies they're mega conglomerates. So Universal, Warner Brothers, Disney, Sony, like, these are entertainment mega giants that control all aspects. They control the creation of the art, the distribution of the arts, the technology, the internet technology that we use to download the art in the first place, the gas that we use to drive to the theater. They own it all. Like, there's so much. These companies own just about everything, and that is concerning. But especially when you look at Disney, which buys Fox, and then it's just like, nope, you can't have these. Here's Predator. Here's Alien. Okay. They just vaulted hundreds, possibly thousands of viable movies and TV shows. that have not seen the light of day since that sale. I'm concerned. Concerned. This is about the point in the previous 2 takes where I just stopped recording and started over and said, keep it calm, Heath. But here we are again. It feels to me like the next 10 years are going to see the most technology-driven era of entertainment. We got Drake songs that sound more like Drake because they were made by AI. Like, they sound more like Drake than actual Drake does. They can make Paul McCartney songs that sound like he did 30 years ago. Sound more like Paul McCartney than modern Paul McCartney sounds like him. What if they, hey guys, we're going to make another Fast and the Furious movie. Well, if you don't have to pay writers, and if computers can do so much of the creation work, if you can generate a face over somebody else's body, as they're doing all the time now, that's concerning to me. And I just can't help but feel that it's all disposable. That none of it really matters. None of it sticks. And the connection that I have with movie history and TV history and pop culture history and music history, like, it's all on the verge of being subverted into something that none of us recognize. And as new generations enter into pop culture fandom and become that coveted demographic, the buying, teenagers are the ones that are buying the tickets. They're the ones that are listening to the songs on Spotify. Teenagers in early 20s are the target buying audience. As new teenagers and 20-somethings enter into things, hey, this is how they know it, right? This is how it's looked for as long as I know. We've got, the Marvel cycle really started in 2008 with the Iron Man movie, and it's the entertainment business has really never been the same since that. The idea of a shared cinematic universe of connecting dozens of movies together, that started with Iron Man in 2008. We have people that are now entering the buying market, and that's all they know. They don't know or care about like a creator-owned project or something that feels a little bit more approachable, or the idea that, humans are creating this thing in a room without bean counters saying, here's what you got to do. Let me talk about this really quick. Art versus commerce. I talk about this a lot. Some of you guys are like, he's on that thing again. Art and commerce are forever in opposition to each other. The commerce people want the art to be successful so they can make money. The artist just wants to tell his story. They have to have each other because the artist can't get his work out there without the commerce side, and the commerce side can't create the art by himself. Sometimes they think they can, which is why these movies are so generic, because they've got notes from the businessmen who don't know how to create. Those two things have always been, they're forever linked, but they're always in opposition of each other. For the last 100 years of entertainment history, they've been in opposition of each other. Now, more than any other time in that 100 years, commerce is controlling everything. Oh, we don't like the way you wrote this, so we're going to hire somebody else to come in. You know what? You can leave your name on it, and we'll have this other person ghost direct. So many instances of Disney for sure doing this, of hiring someone to do a job. But you know what? We decided to go in another direction. We're going to bring in this other person to direct a bunch of these scenes. We'll leave your name on it. Hey, we owe you. We owe you. That's something that Disney does all the time. I've never seen it like this before. And I don't see it getting better. I see it getting worse. Are the theaters going to die? If people stop watching movies in the theater and just wait for streaming, which they've trained us to do, did the theaters go away? What happens in the next 5 to 10 years? I think that the pandemic taught us that we can have the experience we want to have in our homes, isolated from anybody else, isolated from an audience, isolated from, the traditional release system. It's all changing. It's all changing. And I don't know what's going to happen. What do you think about this topic, guys? There's so much to talk about. Obviously, we want to support the stuff that we care about. We do vote with our dollars. But where does creation go? Again, this is not about distribution. It is about distribution, but this is not necessarily a physical versus digital. Like, there are going to be people who are like, well, you just got to buy that physical media. No, because we're talking about the creation of it in the first place. We're talking about how it gets made in the first place. Do you have hope that the people that are running things know what they're doing and that we're going to get... See, I would think that at some point, this moment that we're living in where it's this nostalgia vomit session where it's just like everything we ever loved is being sold back to us at a premium. I would argue that that's about to collapse. But if it does, what replaces it? With everything going on, I don't know. And that worries me. Thank goodness we have so much movie history to occupy our time. You know, I've said it before. If new entertainment stopped today, I'm good for the rest of my life because I have everything I ever wanted or needed on disc and I can watch it. But I would like to continue to enjoy things. I want to see chances being taken, risks being taken with new talents, new writers, new directors, new actors. And I hope that it's here for the next 100 years. And I guess we'll find out. I won't be here in 100 years. Maybe you will. Let's talk about this in the comments below. There's a lot to unpack here. And I appreciate you. We'll see how it goes. Thank you for being here. Next video that goes up will not be like this. We'll be back to talking about some physical release or talking about some aspect of movie history. But I think it's important to be honest and just shoot from the hip sometimes. All right, guys. Thanks. Take care. Till next time. I'll catch you later.